Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and happy holidays for the final time in 2021. This is Cyclone. It's time for Let's Play Train Simulator Christmas Day Part 3 on Mariah's Pass. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and made a bunch of changes on the text on the menu screens now. So I have been improving this. There is still a bad spelling of unfortunately here, which I'm going to fix. But I have been fixing the text. I've been fixing scenarios and things like that. Everything in the scenario. So some train times have been changed, things like that. Part 3 was actually the easiest one to work on. I basically changed one train time, a little bit of text, and some train numbers. And the train numbers had to be changed, especially on the ES44AC, but I think there was a duplicate SD40 as well, oddly enough. And the reason was basically for continuity purposes. Some people, like most people, may not care. They just see a train, they don't bother looking at the number. But for those of you wanting to look around at everything and see everything that goes by as you drive by, you're going to eventually recognize some similar numbers. So I've tried to get rid of as many cases of that as possible, and I tried to make every train unique. I don't care about the cars. The train numbers, at least, are going to be the same. But the cars, you might have car number 516314 showing up twice, and I don't care. But the train itself is going to be unique. Each train engine itself is going to be unique as far as I can try to make it happen. And I did notice a GP38 hanging out in this scenario as well, but that was not in the requirements for the scenario. I found that interesting that the GP38 actually showed up somewhere as well. So I assume it was another BN one, and fortunately for me, I do have that installed, so I'm lucked out in that case. I didn't have a case where it didn't load. But it only showed up in one place, and it's not very commonly used, so even that is very rarely used. In any case, we're going to go ahead and get Part 3 underway. As you can see, it's still Christmas Day, and everyone else had the day off. We didn't, and a few others. So we've now traveled from Ethridge to Glacier Park in our train, and I thought that train had an extra A in it. I'm not sure, but in any case, we just had lunch. We're halfway through our shift. We're waiting for the arrival of an opposing westbound stack just after 1 o'clock. So when the main is clear, we're going to continue the final 70 miles to Shelby, where another crew will be hopefully taking over. So let's go ahead and get in the scenario. And before I actually start playing, I'm going to go into this version and show you a bug that exists in both versions. It exists in this version of the scenario as well. I'm going to try to fix it, but there's no guarantee I'm going to fix it. But I will try before I publish it. If I cannot get it fixed, all you have to do is go and restart the scenario, and it should work. So let's get into the scenario. I'll show you the bug, then we'll get into the scenario itself. See you inside. So here's the bug. You're going to see service 1 is coming along here. It's just going to come up a bit, and all of a sudden, this pop. It just stops there all of a sudden. With 10 cars past the signal, it just decides to come to a stop. We can run ahead and check it out. And sure enough, when I get over there, you find the train is literally not moving. I tried giving it a 20-mile-per-hour burst to try and get it to come at me and do its job, but he basically suddenly stopped moving, and the driver is... boy, that is moving fast, isn't it? Yeah, the driver just decided he's done driving for the day, and he's just going to sit here on the bridge. So basically, he doesn't want to go anywhere. So the way to fix that, I'm going to go back into the 9 menu. I'm going to hit restart. We're just going to stay with you as I show you this. And as we get back to where we are, we're going to ignore that for a second. We'll come back to that. And you're going to see that now we're going to get past number 10, and we're getting to the point where it froze before, and it should be fine after this, and there it is. It is now fine. It is going to go ahead and pass us, and it will be coming by in a moment. So we're going to go ahead and show you the scenario itself. We're going to start from the beginning, so I'm not going to mess it up. Let's get to the scenario.
BNSF Highline dispatch you to train MSEAKC with engine 7202 east. As soon as ZCHSEA clears the main, you have authority to proceed east to Shelby via signal indication and posted speed limits. Highline dispatcher, out.
Now, I already tried playing this, and the train in front of us here did not want to move. I believe it is moving now, so I should have no problem now with this train coming towards me. I'm going to center on me just to confirm this, and sure enough, the train is now no problem coming towards me. I kept the clip of that because I have no idea what happened there, and I'm baffled by that. But in any case, we are going to proceed at this point, and we are going to expect this train to pass by. And I didn't even have time to set up a camera shot unless I wanted to freeze, and it would have been obvious to set up a camera shot. Let's turn the headlights on. We're going to be ready to go as soon as this train finishes passing by. So Naturally, we went ahead and reset the train. We're on a brake application right now. Let's move this side so we can watch the train go by a little bit better. In fact, let's look out the window. Hey! Ooh. Any interesting cars come by? These are all the container cars, by the way. All the different colored cars. Okay, enough of that. Looks like the end of the train is coming. We are going to go ahead and get ourselves set up to move here in a moment. In fact, I'm going to start putting a little bit of throttle on right now. I should probably put the reverser up as I do that. So I'm going to put a little throttle on right now so I'm ready to go as soon as the signal clears. We are yeah, we're far away from the signal again. We're 0.05 of a mile from the signal we stopped 0.02 of a mile in front of. Genius train placement to start the scenario. So I fully expect the signal will clear in a moment. We're going to be good to go. There's the green. I wasn't able to get up to a decent speed before I reached the signal, so we're going to go with it. So now that we are speeding up, we're going to get back onto the main track. We're going to concentrate on maintaining our 15 for now. And once I've gotten back into main track speed, we're going to look at what we're doing today. What is that car doing on its side? What on earth? Well, it's not on its side. It's just sitting there for some reason. Yeah, it's just a boxcar from Far Shore Logistics just sitting there. I don't know why it's just sitting there, but it's just sitting there. So there you go. Next signal is 0.9 of a mile away. By the time we get out of the siding, we should finally reach it. Oh, wow. That is jittery. That's a jittery set of cars I have behind me now. What happened? Well, I already have freight discomfort. That's fantastic. Can't say I'm happy that I was forced in the siding. It means it's harder for me to get going. See a bit of a fence up there on the right window. What is behind that fence, you might ask? I'm going to assume if we were to go through that fence, there'd be some sort of a cliff back there. So let's just, you know, pop through the fence and go under. We're going to go under like that. And, yep, that's quite a cliff. Quite a cliff. So I'm going to say this is just a security fencing type thing. This is just for security. Maybe just be so people can't come through here because there's a road here and, you know, it's quite a cliff, quite a drop to fall on the track and then end up actually rolling under there, just like that. clearing that signal in just a moment here. We got about 5 cars left back there at the signal. We still have wood chip gondolas at the end, so that's a good sign. At least that part stayed the same this time around. So the last car is coming clear of the siding now. It's going to be pulling onto the main track, leaving Glacier Park. We should get our speed limit in just a moment. Let's get back in the cab and get ready to punch it up. I did that instantly by accident a little early. But we can juice it up to 40, so up we go. Don't need that bell anymore. So our first signal is straight ahead, and if we appear ahead, it should be green over red. There it is. And it's interesting how the track narrows just for that bridge, and then it splits right back out as you head out into the probably into the second track again. Or we might be staying on the main track this time. Yeah, we're staying on the main track. Maybe that's a siding there. Let's take a look. Nope, Grizzly Main 1, Grizzly Main 2. We're going by Browning Station, and we're going to go via Browning Main 1 East, so we have to take track 1. We're going to eventually find our way to Blackfoot Main 2. So let's actually look at their stuff we're doing here, because we probably should look at that. So we're going to make our way over to Browning Station, as indicated. That is far from where we are right now. We're coming around some curves to get there. So after Browning Station, we're going to continue out via Browning Main 1 East. We're going to eventually merge. We're going to go via Blackfoot Main 2. The track's obviously split out there, so we have to be junction onto that track. Piegan, I might be saying this wrong. Piegan or Piegan Main 2 East is up here. So we're going to continue on basically this continuing split track here. There's no difference in the track at this point. The track stays split as we go along here. And eventually we're going to find our way to Pardue Sammons Main 2, which is straight ahead from there. We're going to continue from there along what looks like more double track, continuing to Cut Bank Station. Cut Bank Station is right there. There's a spur that starts as we get to Cut Bank Station. How's our speed? Doing good. So after Cut Bank Station back here, we're going to find our way to Ethridge Main 2, which is further along. I think it stays double track from the point where we just started. That from the point we get to Piegan, I think it stays double track from there. So again, Ethridge is right here. We're going to continue to Telon Main 1. So we're going to find our way over to track 1, which means there might be another... no, there must be a siding we have to cross somewhere along the way here to get us to that track. From what I can tell. It looks like we're going to have to cross the siding at some point. So I'm going to hope that we don't have a problem getting over to Main 1 when we need to. Because I hope there's not a service on this part of the track. How's our speed? Doing good. Yeah, there's a service 3 here, so we're going to have to get around that. And after we get around that service, we somehow have to make our way to Telon Main 1. East. Okay, the junction is set behind that service. We're okay. So Telon Main 1 East is right there. We're good. No problems. No problems. So that's where we are. We're going to eventually get to Shelby Station. Right up here, we're going to stop up there on the Main 1. That's where we end the scenario, and that's that. Back to us. Now, in case you have missed the first 2 scenarios, you want to know how we got here, let's zoom out from where we are. We're in the middle of the route right here, right now. So you can see, obviously, all the Shelby stuff over here, and over here is the rest of the route. We started over here in Whitefish. We made our way from Whitefish down to Columbia Falls. Then we just continued along the track. We had a fun little journey coming up to this area here. When we got to this location, we actually had to stop at Coram. We had to stop at Coram East Main 1. We had to wait for a train to pass. That was fine. It was just a 20-minute wait. Didn't like that, but it was fine. Then we continued making our way along until we got to Red Eagle. We continued on to Essex. But when I remember the first scenario, when I went to join, I was supposed to join at Pinnacle Main 2 and then continue on to Essex here. For some reason, we got put onto Pinnacle Main 1. We thus got led to Essex Main 1. The crossover tracks along the way here, they were not operating in our favor. So these crossover tracks aside, they didn't want to help. And as a result, we had an AI collision flying with us. So that was how we ended that scenario. We eventually ended Java when I fixed it and made another run. We then continued from Java. We went up to the summit, which is right here. And after the summit, we continued on to where we ended at Glacier Park, not too far along here. And that's where we are right now. Glacier Park is right here. So that's how we got here. And that's what we're doing today. The speed limit has increased to 50 miles per hour, and we are now approaching a downhill. So now I have to pay attention to my speed much more urgently. The other track has a yellow, so there's a train coming, I believe. We have a green over red, which means the main line is clear. Do not take the secondary line. In case you want to know how long our journey is today, I'm going to go ahead and cut out our speed. We're on a downhill now. There's no reason to have a throttle on. The length of our journey from where we are now, we already missed the first few miles or so. But the length of our journey from where we are now is 66.5 miles. This is going to be a long scenario, guys. This is a long one. Meanwhile, Browning Station, our first go via point. And by the way, they're all go via points again. There's no stops here till the end. So our first go via at Browning Station is in 8. Is that an 8? That's 8.5 miles apparently. So 8.5 miles. We're gonna get Browning Station, and our ETA currently is 1325, which if we manage to go 50 the whole way is gonna be accurate. Because at 50 miles per hour, you're almost actually that's almost a mile a minute. So yeah, you are. Oh yeah, there's a change in speed limit when you get to Browning. It goes down to 30 at one point. So yeah, it's probably assuming to change to 30 at some point. Let's make sure we don't speed. This is a generous speed for us right now, so let's make sure we don't exceed it. I'll even care if I end up at 48, to be honest with you. Whistle boards are showing up again, so we're going to have some crossings again. By the way, I activated the bells myself there. If you were using the Canadian Pacific train on the Canadian mountain passes, that bell actually turns on by itself. So if you don't actually have the bell on when you blow the whistle, you're gonna have to push the bell button twice to actually turn it back off, because the first one will turn it to the on position, and then you have to hit it again to turn it off. So the bell just sounds by itself if you use the horn, which I guess it's realistic, but I don't like it from a simulator standpoint. If you're gonna turn the bell on, just switch the bell to on, and then one button should be enough to turn it off. But no, they didn't. They couldn't figure out how to program that. So I kind of wish they left the bell not automatic in that case and let the people who know how it works do it realistically. But what can you do? So we're traveling on a 0.8% downhill gradient at this time. It is now 13:15. We are 15 minutes into this journey from Glacier Park. Of course, that includes the period of time we had to wait. That looks like a speed limit indication that we are still at a 50 mile per hour. That is not a change warning. That's still a 50 mile per hour speed limit, 55 for passenger, which we are not. I'm going to go ahead and release the brakes again because we are losing a little too much speed now. I'm down to 46 even, and I missed a crossing. missed the whistle board, but we blew the whistle. A little late, but we'll take it. So testing a 5% brake application here to see what happens. We are steady at 48.3, and if it stays there, you know what? I'll take that. This is acceptable. This is definitely acceptable. We have a straight green signal. There's no secondary signal because we're on a single track. So there's going to be another signal eventually when the track splits again. For right now, we're going to stay where we are. Okay, we have started gaining speed again. We're on a 0.9 gradient. So I already asked you in the previous video about your Christmas traditions. Let's try asking something else in this video. What I want to know in this video is, what is the best Christmas gift you've ever had? What is the best gift you've ever opened? It could be something that you got as a kid, some toy that you may or may not have any longer. So some kind of Hot Wheels set, or some kind of Barbie doll, or depending on your gender, of course, because I don't know a lot of guys that play with Barbie dolls. Was like something like a Cabbage Patch Kid, which my sister absolutely enjoyed when she was younger. What kind of toy was it that you really liked? And I don't, or what gift, not toy, but what kind of gift? What's the best gift you've ever received? And I would have a hard time. I don't even remember a lot of things I've received over the years, so I couldn't tell you what my best gift is. But I have already been tipped off on some of the things that we're going to be getting this year, and I'm already predicting that one of those things is going to be something I'm really going to like. It's going to probably be something to help with my streaming setup. So, and I'm going to have to then look into doing something to get better internet to make sure I can have a good quality stream for you guys. I can actually do some live streaming at that point. So I'm expecting something to help with my streaming setup so I can do some good streaming in the future. Live streams. And if I can do that, then you're going to... That might actually help my audience here as well, because I'm going to be able to draw in new people who just are walking by on Twitch or YouTube, and they're like, oh, this guy's live. Let's see what he's doing. Click. Oh, hi. So that'll be a nice little thing I can do. Do some live streaming. Then I'll have to record the live stream and post it up on YouTube afterwards. Now, one thing I don't like is that Twitch tries to keep exclusivity over content that streamers produce. That's not their right. They don't have a right to do that. If we want to put it on our YouTube channel, it's our content. We have a right to do that. Lay off, Twitch. Let us do what we want to do. Now, while in my case it's not what I would consider the best Christmas gift I've ever received, I did receive a really weird Christmas gift at one point. It happened for like 3 years in a row. So, and the third one, by the way, didn't taste very good. But one year they came out with this at the Costco. They had this huge, kind of like a plastic jar. And I'm using the words plastic jar liberally. About... what do they call it? A kilogram or something like that? A huge container of cheese balls. What my evil parents and sister decided to do, or whoever decided on the wrapping procedure for this, was put it inside a box, wrap it, put it inside another box, wrap it, put it inside another box, wrap it, repeat ad nauseum until they had a huge box for me to rip open, thinking it was some huge gift, and in the end all it was cheese balls. And then they did that again the next year, and they did it again the following year, And I have a fear they're going to do it again this year. Even though my father's not there anymore, I have a fear that someone's going to decide to do that to me again this year. I have an abject fear. So cheese balls has become kind of like a gay gift for me to think I'm getting something good, and then wow. And frankly, as soon as I saw the big gift that was listed as from Santa, I kind of knew there was a trap. I knew it was a trap immediately. Like, I don't want to open this, guys. Nope, you're opening it. Oh, shut up. So here's that fence going into Browning. We know there's going to be a speed limit coming into Browning because, 30 speed limit, I believe, because in Cold Meat, where we first saw this fence, I was kind of goofing off, just going along the fence, wondering why there's a cliff on this side with no fence, and then the cliff on this side gets the fence. And then I was going along here just going, ooh, ah, ooh, yeah, ooh, just like that along the fence. I didn't even notice the 30 coming up. But it looks like the 30 is not actually going to be a factor this time, because the fence ends up there. It was shortly after that we got the 30. The 30 is not even showing up now, so we can actually just proceed. Like, if that scenario had me end at Browning Station, I would have been fine. I would have had 1,000 points. But they put me in the siding. It was right around here, I think I realized I had to slow down, and you can see the speed limit sign right ahead. Well, that's the mileage marker. There's a speed limit sign, and I must have just crossed it right behind the signal here. I must have just crossed it like a second late. Must have been 1 second. I got penalized for 2 seconds, so it must have been like 1 second I was late on it, and it was just in there on the second. The second. There you go. That's a 30 track next to us. Let's look out the window. People! That is a small platform. Wow. I didn't blow the horn. That was a crossing. There you go. Oh, I'm about to speed. So just to review where we're going to be going next, let's open the map for a second. You can see I'm chugging along here. Blackfoot Main 2 is up here. That is our next location. You can see the junction is set for us. So everything should be fine as we get up to there. We should be able to junction back onto this single track. If I can find where I am, there I am. I should be junctioning back onto the single track just fine. As you can see, in fact, the line continues. So the junction is set for me to go on there. That red signal's for the other direction, by the way. Don't worry about that red signal at all. There's actually a 60 coming up as well, so I'm going to risk releasing my throttle for a while and regaining some speed. We're getting into the faster portion of the route now, which is good news for me. It's also a longer portion of the route. I mean, the climb is short, but a long climb because you have to go slowly. But when you're actually going downhill, all of a sudden it just seems a lot faster. So there's a very minimal speed increase. We're on still on a 0.8 gradient, but minimal speed increase. There is the new 60 limit now that we have split off into, or split down into one track. Or merged, I should say, not split. Verbiage. Verbiage is important, ladies and gentlemen. The speed increase is getting a little bit quicker now, so I'm a little more concerned. We're on a 0.8 gradient and we are gaining fast. Let's put a small brake application on. That will not do it. That will not do it. Why did it just suddenly jut up? I have to suddenly put a major application on just to hold it. It should not have jutted up like that. That was weird. I think that was mile marker 1124, just to update you on our whereabouts. Remember that whitefish we had about 12:14 when we started. Somewhere along that route. And it's not a very long section there up to Columbia Falls, so naturally that is only about 90 miles. We still have about, I don't know, 50 to go. Like I said, this is the long portion of the route, this downhill segment. But it's so much faster because it's downhill. And this section we're driving today is basically the length of Sherman Hill. This is roughly the length of Sherman Hill. You got about a 69 mile drive or something like that on Sherman Hill. So we're basically driving Sherman Hill today on Marias Pass in terms of length. It's probably 67.23 or something like that. I'm making up that number, but sounds about right for one of the journeys. So we can go ahead and bump our speed up to a leisurely 60 at this point. While we have time, let's find out where Service 2 is located on the map. We see Xmas Day. If I go too far, you notice the train completely disappears, by the way. So I'm going to try to keep the text on the map as we scroll ahead. You can see, obviously, that text does the same thing. Service 2 is over here. It has not yet started moving. It is on track 1. We're going to be making our way onto track 2, I believe. Because obviously that's what the goal says. We're going to go via Blackfoot Main 2. So we're going to take Blackfoot Main 2. And there's Blackfoot right there, the Blackfoot Y. That's what we're going to be climbing onto. We're still all the way back here. So we have a little ways to go yet. Since Service 2 is not moving yet, I assume it's going to start moving when we get to the Blackfoot Y, or as we enter that track. And for those, again, oh, we have a flashing yellow, so we're going to have a diverging track. That's probably to put us on to track 2. So nothing unusual there, in terms of the signal anyway. So, yeah, we're going to move down to track 2 by that signal. So that means we're not going to have a stop to wait for that train unless we have to, I think it came before Piegan. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I think that train came before Piegan. Let's go and find that again. Yeah, that train came before Piegan. So we are definitely going to be seeing, we're going to be staying on a 2-track environment here as we continue along. That's the service we're going to be eventually waiting for. Still not moving. The only concern I have is when it starts moving, it might change the junction because it's going to eventually take the route along here. And in scenario 1, remember the dispatcher who I fired decided that even though I was already in the section and had the green signal, we're going to go ahead and give him access. Yeah, good idea. Now, what I'm wondering is if I missed a signal. I need to go back and review the video because if I missed a signal and I crossed to red, that would explain it because he would not have been... Hello. He would not have been required to take my track because his portal was before the single track where I eventually crashed with him. So I'm thinking what might have happened is I could have crossed a red signal I might have forgotten. So I need to review the video and I have to find out what happened. But I'm not going to be posting that video anyway, so even if I did cross a red signal, it's going to be something you're only going to see in the blooper reel, so don't worry about it. I'll keep that to myself until a blooper reel. But I believe it was a green signal, and if it was a red signal, that would have been the spot to put the red signal, because his portal was between that signal and the next one I was going to use. We have a major drop in speed coming up to 35. I'm going to start slowing down now because that is a huge drop. That's going to be for a junction. I don't see another speed listed behind that, so I have to assume we're going to stay at 35. So I'm just trying to drop the speed as quick as I can and as safely as I can without wheel slip. 1120 mile marker. Coming close to about 100 miles in our total journey today. I'm going to go ahead and release the brakes now. We just got under, but not very much. I'm going to put another small brake application on. There's our transition to the other track. We are now under a 35 mile per hour speed limit. We're also on a 0.4% downhill gradient. It looks like it's going to smooth out a little bit here. And, yep, it's smoothing out to 0.1. I missed another whistle board. I've never been in this area, so I'm missing the whistle boards. Some scenarios penalize you for missing those. Oh, you didn't blow your whistle! Minus 10 points! Yeah. Geez, the audio sounds like a space laser firing at you or something. That was my very bad impersonation of a space laser, by the way. You're welcome. Are you not entertained? No? Anyway, Piegan Main 2 East is our next checkpoint. We're going to be there in about a little less than 10 miles, 9.5 miles. We're passing the Y over here, the Blackfoot Y. So if we pop out of the train and hop over here for a second, you can see again how the Y is set up. You have one track going in, another track going in. They eventually merge. You have a switch here to control them, so you can control this all you want here. So yeah, we can just play with this and we can move it back and forth, do whatever we want here. This does not affect our journey at all, so we click it again. And why am I... We're in a 60, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and speed up. But in any case, the track eventually ends over here. This is basically a turnaround point. And then there's a road over here for traffic, you know? They get to watch switching activities. So yeah, we did get into a 60 again after that junction, so I do need to start increasing my speed again. I will do that presently. It's kind of unfortunate that the Ys are not set up with double tracks and a little bit longer, because if they were a little bit longer and double track, you could actually set up those Ys to do actual switching activities. Where you could be told, you know what, we're taking these cars from this plant, but we're going to use the Y to turn around, so pull the train into here, detach, go behind it, do a glory shuttle, and you know, get on the other side of it, and then you're going to go in the other direction. No, you can't do that that's something you would do on the Edinburgh-Glasgow route when you go to a couple of certain locations that are designated for that kind of thing, where you have a 2-track setup and you can go back and forth with the Class 66 because you can drive it on both sides. I think the 57 might do the same thing. The 92, I'm not sure. I don't know. There are other ones that do it as well. So you can actually do that kind of thing with Edinburgh-Glasgow. These ones are not set up to do that because it's only a single track that you merge onto. There's no double track situation anywhere. Now, the closest you can do is to park the rest of the train in the curve, separate yourself, curve out, and then curve onto the front. But you don't have a double track set up. There's only you'll have to use the single track, junction off, and then work your way around. So you can still turn a small train around, but a larger train, there's no way to get it out. The larger train cannot be taken out unless you go a fair way down the main line and then back up to reconnect. And I don't know if that's considered a normal thing that you would do there. I don't even know if a turnaround for a small train is something you would do there. But large train, not a chance. Not a chance a large train will be turned around there. Missile board, I saw it this time. And we're going fast enough that I'm going to use it right away. The radio guy goes, nah, nah, as I cross the track. Sorry, cars. Now exactly 7 miles from Piegan, Main 2. As for our entire journey, let's check where we are on our journey. We are looking at a stop at Shelby as our final stop. We know that already. That is now 47.5 miles away. I think this train has now started moving. This was the service 2 that we saw up ahead earlier. He's definitely moving. Definitely moving. That's a 50. So I need to slow down immediately. I did not do that in the most professional fashion, but I got it down. We'll work with that. And now my train is suddenly gaining speed as the cars behind realize that there's a slower train ahead now. Sometimes the cars you're carrying are what drive the train. You never know. So there is another 60 limit coming up here, so we're going to be able to get back up to speed in a little while. Why we had to cut to 50 in the middle of the double track, I'm not sure. Is that... Wait a second. This looks like the thing in Washington, doesn't it? This looks almost exactly like the thing in Washington. Just a smaller replica. I mean, what is this weird thing here? There you go. There's your screenshot of the day right there. Chug, 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 chug. Yeah! The needle. Back in the cab. I might have missed a whistle board. I don't care right now. There is the alert to our upcoming 60 miles per hour. Because I'm well under 50, I'm going to go ahead and start speeding up now. We're still double tracked. And we might remain... I thought we would go down a single track again, but we might remain double tracked now. There is a possibility we stay double tracked. There's not a lot of single track sections left because we are going into a major location at Shelby. And we're also over the main pass, so there's lots of room for the double track now. There's not a lot of reason to go single track in many of these places anymore. Mile marker 1114 has just been crossed. We did cross into the 60 completely before I crossed over into 51, so we are safe. We are not speeding. That is a junction limit for a 15. We are not taking that track. That is a shunting area. A train would come in, connect to those cars, and then leave. Those are some wood chip gondolas again, plus one of the other cars. There's another set of cars back here we can pick up as well. So if you want this car, you'd be having a hard time right now. You'd be having a hard time if you want just those cars right now. And there's another set of cars. What are these? What is this siding? Meriwether Meriwether, I guess. Okay. The name of the company must be Meriwether. I can't see what else it would be. Really, the bell should be turned on as you pass the whistle board. That's how it should work. But again, I was looking to see what the name of the company was and the sidings and missed the whistle board, so it's my first time here. Forgive me.
You are not forgiven.
Oh! I must admit I looked away for a moment. I did not see for certain whether that signal was green. In a real life scenario, you would actually be more cautious at this point. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look ahead. I'm going to see we still have a green up there, so we have shown no problem proceeding. I think the other direction has a red. The other direction is showing a red. I don't believe that's our red. Maybe it is our red. What's going on up here? I can't understand why it would be a red, but no, it must be from the other direction, like I said. Now I'm not sure. Am I absolutely sure about that? This could be a bad sign. I'm going to slow down. Okay, the signal is before Piegan. No, I think it's far enough in front that I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm going to get my binoculars out and keep an eye ahead of me to make sure. I should be green. I don't see why it would be red. I should be green, but we're going to be careful. And I see sure enough that that does appear to be a green signal ahead, so if I pop ahead here, that is indeed a green signal, so we are going to be good here. So I can speed back up, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Whistle. That was Piegan Main 2. Our next checkpoint, Pardue, Sammons Main 2. That's in about 4.5 miles. We've crossed under the 1,110 mile markers. I saw a 0 on that one. 110 something. I think it was 9. I want to know where 1111 was. I missed it. Oh well. Somewhere back here now. It's further back than this, but you know. We can actually look it up here if we want to. What's my speed? Speed's good. We can actually look it up here if I want to go back to this point. I can see the 1112 right here, so that means the next one up here is going to be 1111. And sure enough, I've already passed it. I'm still in range of it, but I've already passed it. I'm up here now. So there you go. It wasn't a special location, which is unfortunate because a number like that should be at a special location. But industry doesn't build around numbers, so... Whistle board. I'm gonna turn the bell off a little early, realistically, but we shall take it. Too late. It is off. It stays off. Green, 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 green. No issues with signals today. And I think I wanted to stop back there for a green signal. There's another mile marker. 1 more mile off our journey. You could argue I'm running out of things to talk about with this such a long series of scenarios and all being set around Christmas Day as one big long drive. And you're right, I'm getting a little loony because it's one big long drive, but we're going to finish this drive. We're going to see this part of the route that I have not yet explored. I want to see if there's anything else interesting along this section of the route that we can point out as we go. For example, there are fences on both sides. Glorious fences. Very, very handsome fences, you see? Look at the beautiful structure of the wood posts on those fences. The metal wires. They're glorious, glorious. Like, look how well made they are. They have little humps in them. Absolutely glorious. Glorious design. You can't get better fences than these. You gotta have the best fences to protect your railroad tracks, and they got the best fences. Absolutely glorious. Let's get back to the train, shall we? Frankly, this is kind of like a featureless portion of the route. I actually wouldn't have been surprised if they ended the route a little earlier, only because the path to Shelby is so bland. But they wanted to include the Sweetgrass sub, and it was too close, so they had to include this more featureless section, unfortunately. So we're gonna see what, like I said, we're gonna see what interesting things show up along the way here. We do know that we are coming to Pardue Sammons right now. So Pardue Sammons is the next destination. But we are green. As they say in auto racing, race! I missed a whistle board. I don't care. Again, if there was a second person actually in the cab with me saying, oh, whistle, blow the whistle, he could blow the whistle as well if I didn't. So, So next checkpoint is Cut Bank Station. That is in 11.5 miles. I believe we're down around 39, 40 miles left in our entire journey. Oh, 35. Little going quicker than I thought. 35 miles left in our journey today. So Cut Bank Station is just one of those stops along the way. There's another mile marker, 11:04. This looks like it's probably going to be the longest portion of our run today. I could be mistaken. I don't want to check all the rest of them right now, but based on how many are left, we have 3 more sections after that, so there's still going to be another 24 miles. There could still be room for one more long one, but the other 2 would have to be shorter ones. I know the one near the end to Shelby is a shorter one, so these could be roughly equal length. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll find out. My speed has made its way back up to 58. I'm just slowly getting up there because we're dealing with a little bit of an uphill gradient, it looks like. So we are slowly making our way up. Actually, it's downhill, so not... It's a 0.9 downhill gradient. What's taking me so long to get up to speed? I do not understand. Please understand. No, I refuse to understand. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and reduce my throttle and see if that actually has an impact. Reducing it does not. Eliminating it should. So you might be asking, where's Cut Bank Station? Cyclone, where do we find Cut Bank Station? Well, you see how we're on track 2 here? You see how we're going to be continuing along this whole route here? There's Cut Bank Station right there. So it's right in there. Staying on track 2. That's exactly where we're going. Right there. So we shall not deviate from the path. We shall continue exactly where we need to go. So we dropped it into the 55s. I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed back to 60 if I can. I know I can. It's just a matter of doing it. So we're about an hour, almost an hour into this leg of our journey. So this has now been coming up on a 5-hour drive along Marias Pass on Christmas Day. So we're back to my original estimate of 5.5 hours at this point, because that's pretty much what it's taking. I originally thought it was going to be 5.5 hours. The scenario timing said it was going to be 85, 60, and 60, which told me it was going to be 3.5 hours, and they lied. The scenario timings were a lie. So I have no idea. So I'm going to attempt now to get you the workshop information on the person who designed this scenario, because I actually want to confirm this for you. And the name of the person who designed this scenario is BDC1964. He's the original designer of this scenario, all 3 of them. This is his series. So yeah, that's who to thank for this set of scenarios, and this effectively for the set of videos, I guess you could say. And he does have 18 scenarios in the workshop. He does visit, I think he does Marias Pass for a lot of his scenarios, but he does use Marias Pass and Los Angeles commuter rail services as well. So he also uses the Cajon Pass modified, the modified Cajon Pass, the Cajon Pass modernized route for a scenario called Stacks at Dawn. So that's another one that's interesting that he does. So that's the kind of stuff that can be that you might actually want to play from him. If you want to look up his content, you can do that. I don't know how well, because these were his first 3 scenarios, so he probably learned a bit from doing these scenarios. Probably going to do better on the later ones, so I'm not going to judge his entire collection of content by his earlier entries. It's possible that he may have improved and may have some more radio transmissions, more message dialogues, better AI. setups and things like that on these other scenarios. So by all means, check them out and let me know what you think. We're maintaining a green signal at this point. I missed a whistle board. I've been missing a lot of those. So continue to Cut Bank Station. We're now coming up on 5.25 miles away from Cut Bank Station. We covered half the distance, roughly. Well, a little more than half the distance from our last checkpoint. I did not see the speed limit change. 45 is now our speed limit. I am effectively speeding very badly right now. That's going to get marked down as a whole bunch of speeding penalties. I mean, I saw a 13 on one scenario, and I'm like, I did not speed 13 times. I sped a lot inside one. And I think it's counting each time the speeding flashes as a unique speeding penalty. I think that's what it's doing. My brakes did not want to release, but now I've made them. We're good. So we're back up to 45 miles per hour now. We got back up there pretty quickly because we're on a downhill, 1.0 gradient percent. 1.0% I meant to say. We're now in the under 1,100 miles in the line, by the way. We have a yellow flashing signal ahead. Something I've read, by the way, is that apparently railroads do not recognize the term amber for their signals. If you say amber, that is not a signal. That is unrelated. If you say amber, they say that is not yellow, you must have a yellow signal. No, it's an amber signal. No, it's a yellow signal. No, it's a... Get out of here. My brakes did not activate at that percentage, so we're going to lower our speed just a wee bit here. 3.5 miles to Cut Bank Station. We're going to see a siding start before we actually reach the station. We're going to see a road start right now next to us, coming down from a little bit of a hill. Not sure how busy this road is, but it looks like it's not busy. Mile marker 1096. I had that brake on way too long. Someone sent me a message and I did the thing of talking to someone while driving. But given that we're on a deep, very good downhill gradient, taking the brakes off means we're going to gain speed very quickly anyway, so it's not going to have too much of an effect. We do have a whistle bar coming up, though that is going to have an effect. That seemed a little bit close to the road, didn't it? That did not seem like a very long warning for that whistle board. Interesting. That's the whistle board for the other direction. We can see a warning that we're going to have a 30 coming up. So, yeah, 35 and then 30. I don't even think we saw the 35 warning because it's just too close to the 30. 35 might be a junction. We are, after all, coming up to Cut Bank Station in 1.5 miles, and that's about a mile out for that speed limit change. A little less than that, actually. Get down just a little bit more here. I could game it and stay at 35 right now, but since the 30 is so close, like not maybe a 1/10 of a mile behind, I might as well just go ahead and lower completely. Checking the junctions ahead at this point. Very, very small single track section. I wonder why this is a single track section. But anyway, the junction should still be set. It is still leading me into Cut Bank Station, so we are good for that right now. Oh, we got for the bridge. I see. We got it for the bridge. There you go. There's your scenic shot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually going slower than I want to. I'm at 25 right now. We're coming back to an uphill, so I'm going to actually have to put some throttle on. We're 4/10 of a mile from Cut Bank Station. Yeah, like I said, I really want to bring a Voyager Advanced, just do a fun passenger service along here, just for fun. It's not realistic. It'd be fun to do something a little different, though it would take a long time. As we come to the station, I'll turn the bell back on because I think that's appropriate. We got a neighborhood! We got a neighborhood over here, guys! Look at that! Nice little neighborhood over here. I like it. I like when these things get added. Very, very nice. Let's look out the window, shall we? Hi! Hi, guys. Anyone here? Hey there! Hey, where you guys going? Where you going, guys? Hey. Oh, hey there. Oh, hey, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, that's it. Okay, that'll do. Turn the bell off. Next checkpoint is Ethridge. This is about just as long as a journey to Cut Bank Station, but we're going slower now, so that's not good for us. We're still losing speed on this uphill, so I'm going to pump the throttle up to full power at this point. Full power! that's barely getting us where we need to go right now. That 0.8 gradient. That's no joke, ladies and gentlemen. No joke. Pas de joke. That was a French attempt, yes. French attempt. Anyway. We're in a yard right now, and this is probably just considered the cut bank yard, I'm guessing. Like, they're going to be cut bank siding. So, yeah, there's cut bank Old Main, cut bank General number 1. So, yeah, these are just the sidings at cut bank. This is a, I guess, a major freight stop along the way. Speed limit is still 30 miles per hour. I have no information as to whether that changes along the journey here. I would not have complained if this was a 4-part scenario, by the way, because 6 hours is a lot of driving, so I would not have complained if this was 4 parts. Would not have complained at all. We're getting up to 30 right now, and I do see, hallelujah, faster speed ahead. 60 coming up again. I also see a whistle board coming up. I did not mean to turn on the wipers. I wanted to turn on the bell. Of the crossing. That'll do. Is this another train spotting situation over here? Oh, we're speeding. Whoops. That was a mistake. I'm speeding again. Whoa! Holy cow. Let's check our train spotting while I wait for the throttle to settle down. We had the truck just sitting back here not doing anything. Oh, no, he's just parked in a building. Never mind. He's parked. Go around the truck, and it's just the building he's at. That's all it is. Okay. We continue to have a green signal. And I missed a whistle board because I was checking out the truck. Most inconsistent driver I am. 1091 is our mile board now, and we can see that clearly because we're going a lot slower. There's our sign for the 60. We are approaching our next speed limit. As for our journey, by the way, we are now about 9 miles from Ethridge. And as for our final destination at Shelby, we are 22.22 miles exactly from Shelby. So when we get to Ethridge, we're going to be down to about 13 miles at that point from Shelby, and that'll tell us what the length of the last 2 segments is. And as you can imagine, I assume our driver really has to use the bathroom right now. Been 5 hours into a journey. Well, I guess perhaps when they have a really long drive like this, they probably just get out and find a spot along a road behind a tree somewhere or something. That's probably what they do. So when the train stopped for 15 minutes, you know, you gotta do something. You're gonna make sure you are able to drive for the next leg. opening throttle back up, but because we are on an uphill gradient, 0.8%, it's going to flatten out in a bit, but we're not going to get very far for the time being. On that flat bit, we should get a little bit of speed, and then we're going to be going downhill again. So it's going to be fantastic going downhill, getting that speed back. That's a whistle board. Mile marker 1090. That one I might have been a little bit over eager on because I see the crossing coming up a little late here. There we go. I shouldn't have turned the bell off yet, but we'll take it. I'm still not past 30 miles per hour on this uphill. So that tells you how hard it is to gain speed when you're hauling a boatload of crap behind you. Crap that includes, you know, wood chips. Glorious wood chip crap. Tail through the TMT over. Seven and a quarter miles to Ethridge. I can think of better ways to spend Christmas Day. Another whistle board I missed. I think I gave an extra whistle toot there because I pushed the horn for the third toot a little too quickly, so it sounded like one extra long enhanced toot. To give another toot. You see a few houses over there on the side. Let's check out this neighborhood. Not bad. I've seen worse houses. Not bad. They got a nice view of some hills over here, some rocks. So just like a little trailer park type neighborhood here, I guess you can call it. Except they're not trailer park. Not trailers for a trailer park. They're just houses. So not really a trailer park. That's like a trailer park. So I'm going to call it a park. There you go. You question my logic? Good. So update on our proceedings in case for some reason you YouTube blurs this. I'm coming up on 50 miles per hour. I'm still in the 60 mile per hour speed limit, so I'm getting up to there soon. We are now about 6 miles from Ethridge. 1.0 downhill gradient, so I'm going to probably want to turn my throttle off very shortly. As it is, I'm running on 1050 RPM, and I'm using 255 amps of power and decreasing. I'm curious how far that amp meter goes down. I really want to know. So I might just ride a brake here. It's not normal having 100% throttle through a brake. Oh, the amps goes up and down with the speed. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And we're coming into a 55, so it's actually a good thing I held the brake where I did. It's like I knew. There's the warning for it. I'm going to pop this back a little bit. Once I've done that and the number settles out, I'm going to release the throttle. Yeah, there's a 60 coming up right after that, so I want to make sure I don't burst through this 55 at a 60. This is a 1.0 downhill gradient we're still on. There's the new speed limit, temporarily. There's our green signal. This is probably the reason for the new speed limit. 60 might be too fast for this curve, might be considered able to derail you on this curve. So they want to slow you down a little bit for the curve to keep it safe for you. Now after we get around this second curve, looks like the speed goes up to 60 on the other end of that curve. So that's where the speed limit change comes in to help protect workers. Because if you go too fast around a curve, your cars are going to come flying off. They want to make sure that you don't do that to yourself. They're out to transport stuff. They're not out to kill you. I mean, kill you emotionally maybe, but they don't want to murder you. So you saw the new speed limit sign for the 60 and the associated passenger number. You also saw a little bit of lag as that came up. It happens. I'm also holding speed very well on a 7% brake application on this gradient, I'm noticing. I'm noticing that immediately. We're 3 miles from Ethridge. I've been playing this during the day today, and now it's starting to get dark around here, so I kind of want to get up and turn on a light. But at the same time, I'm getting so close to my destination that I just want to finish and then get up and do everything then. So, hard to decide. I'm going to go ahead and release and get a little more speed on here. That was a weird little jet in my speed there. And that's actually getting up there a little quickly now, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a good enough brake application on to make sure I stay where I want to go. Because it was kind of going up at a very erratic number there, so I'm going to make sure I maintain control over this. I'm going to go ahead and release it now for a second, see what happens. I should increase again now, there it is. Then I'll put a much more reasoned brake application in. Or I'll freeze here at 56.8. That'll work as well. You know what? I'll take that for now. You can see Ethridge coming up on the map ahead, or on the HUD. Technically, we're 1.1 miles away from it, but the entry point is now 0.8 of a mile away. So we're actually closer to it than the HUD tells us on the left. And the details tell us. That's from the end of the section, the number on the left. You can see that section is basically about 0.2 of a mile across, which is where that number comes from. So instead of saying we're 0.6 of a mile from Ethridge, we can say we're 0.6 from the end of Ethridge. Any other brake application on at this point to maintain 60. Or rather, a speed no higher than 60 is a better way to put it. It's fast enough at this point that I'm not worried about maintaining the decimals over the limit or even the limit itself. I'm okay being at 58 or 59 for this part of the journey. That way we don't speed too much. Whistle board. That's wiper. Let's see where service 3 is. Has it started moving yet? It would be up here if it has, and there it is. It has not started moving yet. I assume it's going to move at some point. Might be within the next minute, actually, because when I was poking around the edit earlier, I thought I saw 1423 on that service. So it might actually start at 1423. Only one way to know the answer to that question is to check in on that service at 1423, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. So not moving yet. We go back. It's 1423 now, and it is still not moving. Well, that was worth experimentation, wasn't it? By the way, our gradient has flattened. We're going to be going uphill in a moment, so I'm going to put a little bit of throttle back on to try to get back up to 60. Teton Main 1 is now the end of it, about 9.5 miles away. So our final major section of this journey today. Service 3 is still sitting there. Another mile marker flying by. If you can call that flying. Whistle! That's the wrong button again. Darkness. It's getting dark around here. Service 3 is still not moving. It is still not moving at all. No, not even there. Okay. I'm getting pretty close to it, so it has to move soon. It's actually right in front of my target location. The junction is going to change over behind that train, but I'm going to see that train first. And we have a 55, so I'm actually under that right now, so I'm in good shape. I'm fine where I am. We're going to leave that alone. Okay. I missed a whistle board looking at the map, apparently. Nothing unusual. Still there. I want to know when it starts moving. I'm getting pretty close to it. I really want to know because we're going almost a mile an hour, a mile a minute now. So we're going to be on it in about 6 or 7 minutes. Might even be about 5 minutes at this point. So I really want to know when it starts moving. And I just hit 55 as I entered the 55. So yep, time to take my throttle off again. Was that one of those signs again? Not what I wanted. Wrong button. I wanted to see this. Oh yeah, the train detection system. There you go. I'm over. I'm over the limit. Over the limit. Hit the brakes. Ooh, it didn't catch me. It did not catch me. I will accept. Not being caught is an excellent thing. TMT. You know, Service 3's got to move eventually. Look where I am. I'm over here. Oh well. Up 50 coming up. Lower some more. Excuse me. A little more. There we go. Gradient has actually flattened for a minute here, so there's going to be a little bit of residual downhill, so I'm going a little under 50 to give me the room for that. But we are crossing into 50. We're going to have another downhill right after this. Actually, now we're already on the 1.0 downhill again, so the downhill gradient is already affecting us. So I'll put a 5% brake on. We're going to try to sit on that. Back to the map. Whistleboard. Make sure I push the right key this time. So I think this is the last left turn before we come upon that train. So the hilarity is going to be interesting if it doesn't actually start moving yet. I think in 14:33 it was scheduled to move. Might need to adjust that time a little bit. In any case, Teton Main 1 East is 3.5 miles away. There's another crossing there. I didn't even see a sign for that one. Still not moving. We're closing in. I think that was a whistle board, just to be safe. Flashing signal. We're going to divert. It wasn't a crossing, but we're going to treat it like it was. Oh, I've lowered speed to the 50 now, so I'm going to go ahead and reduce the brake. Another check of the map. Service 3 is still not going. You can see I'm approaching. We're going to see him straight down the track soon. He's not moving. So service 3 is now straight down the track on track 1. As soon as we come around this curve. Might even see him if we zoom in. There he is. That's him. And as you can see, he is still not moving. Now, we're not going to crash into him. He's on the other track, so that's the good news. It's not going to be a collision for us. He's not in our way. He's not disobeying a signal like the other guy was. But he is literally not moving, so it's kind of amusing at the same time as it is unfortunate. I think he just started. Whoops. Oh, I'm speeding. Whoops. We're coming to 25 anyway, so I need to slow down. Let's see quickly if he actually... Nope, he's still not moving. I saw smoke, so I thought he started moving, but no, he's not moving. Well, I'm amused. That to 25 junction is right after the end of this train, by the way. So we're almost at Teton Main 1. You see Teton Main 1 is on our task, on our HUD. The engine is still sitting there, so we're just going to shuttle in behind him, and that's what we're going to do. We are on a slight downhill, so hopefully getting down a little bit under our 25 junction limit is going to be good enough here. At this point, once we reach Teton, we only have one more stop, and that is actually at Shelby Station. We're going to freeze ourselves there, and I don't think there's going to be anything beyond the station blocking us because, I mean, there's no meet coming up to continue our journey. But we are going to take the junction track right now. I'm going to stay with you as we watch that. Not going to run to the map at this point. Now crossing our 25 junction. There's Teton Main 1 East. We are almost to it. 0.2 of a mile, we cross it. At this point, I'll take a quick peek at the map and see what's going on beyond He's moving! Service 3 is finally moving. A little bit late, buddy. Okay, off to adjust this time. Decided that, off to adjust this time. So we're going to be going there. We're going to be going to Shelby as our station. And you can see that we do have a green signal at Shelby. There's nothing blocking beyond there. So technically it is green to continue into the end of the map if we wanted to. We're not going to.
BNSF Highline dispatch you to train MSEAKC with engine 7202 East. The fresh crew is standing by at the depot in Shelby now to take the train. Stop your movement there and change. Dispatcher, out.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! I can celebrate. It's Christmas. I have some time. So, okay, I'll stop. If you actually like that, you better donate on Patreon. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Not required, definitely appreciated. So our stop at Shelby Station is literally less than 2 miles away. We have to maintain no faster than 25 miles per hour, at least for the junction. We got 45. Let's go to 45. Let's take one last burst into Shelby. Based on a 45 mile per hour speed limit, if we were going 45, that would mean we would be there in about 2.5 minutes or so, I want to say. 2.5 to 3 minutes. But we're not quite going that speed. We're not even at 30. Based on that speed, we'd be about 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes. But yeah, we'll be there in a few minutes. That's the main thing. Going to be at least 5 hours and 40 minutes of driving on these scenarios. So if you teed these up and you watched them all on Christmas Day, assuming you have nothing else to do, which I imagine you're with your family, so I don't think your family would want to watch this with you. But if you did tee this up to watch on Christmas Day, thank you for joining me for this journey today. I just wanted to say that. If you did like this journey and you want to see other journeys, not only on Marias Pass, but on other routes. Again, routes I played include Riviera, London to Brighton, suburban Glasgow, some Falmouth branch activity. I played Sherman Hill. We're going to have some other things coming up. I'm going to at one point explore Donner Pass, that entire route as well. That's another really long route. Nice BN locos there, by the way. I believe that's the SD40. So, and I also going to show off different trains. For example, the Just Trains Voyager, I can tell you that's going to show up on my channel at some point as well. I'm not going to tell you when or how, where or how yet. But since the introductory scenario is on Great Western Main Line, that pretty much spoils that Great Western Main Line is going to show up here at some point as well. So keep an eye out for things like that coming up as well. I'm still going to do the other 2 Marias Pass scenarios. I want to get the Christmas ones out of the way so I could make sure they were up on time. I can do the Marias ones anytime if I fall behind. But I'm going to try to put the Marias Pass scenarios up after these ones. And then they're going to follow behind. And it's going to be a full playlist with them following behind. So once those next 2 Marias Pass scenarios are up, those are Blackfoot and Bust and the Wood from Kalispell or Wood from Kalispell, whatever it is, for or from. Those are going to be the next 2 I'm going to try to get up here. After that, I'm going to take another little break here because I do have some Cahoon Pass scenarios on standby to take us into the new year. I may look for a New Year celebration scenario. I have not decided yet, so don't expect that. But if I find one, I may decide to give it a try. I may decide to do it. We will see if I find something worthwhile on a route that I've already played, and if so, we will do it. And if we do that, it will follow these scenarios. It will follow the one we just played. Let me rephrase that. It will follow Wood from Kalispell if we do that. Because I'm going to go ahead and make sure I don't publish anything on Christmas or Boxing Day themselves. Boxing Day is what we call the 26th in Canada. 27th is the first day they'll be open again. I'm going to figure out the next day I want to publish after that. So I don't have a specific publishing day. But since today is December 24th, as we're airing this, I hope you have a happy, let me try that again. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a happy, wonderful holiday season. Let's go ahead and screech those brakes that came in faster than I should have. Make sure to like this video and all the other ones. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to know when other content is coming out. And in the meantime, you can also support me on Patreon. You can also join the Discord server. That's all going to be in the description. So take an eye down to the description to see that. Let's go ahead and get to the end of the station if we can. You can see the end of the station is coming up along this area somewhere. I'm going to go to the end of the green, and that's where we're going to go. I don't think we saw the driver out the window here, so I don't really have a good stopping point designated here. They must be in the depot, because these guys are just walking around. So they must be in the depot. I'm just going to stop at the station. He can come to the front of the station and pick up the train. This will be good enough for a stop. So let's just stop it right there, and that's going to be it. As we come to a stop, let's take a look at the train as we finish the series. It'll eventually stop. There we go. Okay, so I overshot the station just a wee bit, but he can climb the stairs. I'm not worried about him. Anyway, that, again, have a wonderful Christmas, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year. I will see you for more videos in the New Year. And I am enjoying doing this, and I'm going to keep doing this because I'm sure there's some of you out there that like this as well, and I do this for you guys. Good work. The fresh crew will take... Never mind. Good work. The fresh crew will take over the train now. Time to tie up and enjoy the Christmas holiday. What's left of it. I'm going to actually enjoy mine tomorrow. Have a wonderful Merry Christmas, everyone, and I'll see you in the New Year. I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, and holiday. I'll see you next time for more. There's 2 more stairs on Mariah's Pass I'm going to try to get here, so stay tuned next time for more Mariah's Pass. Bye-bye.